Welcome back to Amazing Australia. Today we're in Summerland Beach on Phillip Island, Victoria. Everyday spectators gather at sunset to witness the extraordinary event, the Penguin Parade, where little penguins gracefully make their way ashore in groups. Thousands of these charming creatures waddle home from the ocean to their burrows after days of hunting for fish in the Southern Ocean. I'm so excited to share this magical experience with you.
You've come to see tonight, folks, is the smallest penguin in the world, the little blue penguin. And they are actually marine birds. They spend 80% of their life in the water. So they don't necessarily come ashore every night, but every night some penguins come ashore. So we're going to see penguins tonight, that is for sure. Tonight we're going to be counting the penguins for 50 minutes. Up in the skybox, Kerry will be counting the penguins, and there's 5 tracks where they come ashore. So the closest tracks to our stand here is to the east and also through the middle. That middle track is a really important track. That is our research track, and the penguins that walk up that track have a little microchip in the back of their head. So they walk up and they walk up that hill and over a weighbridge which records their number. So we can work out how long they've been out in the ocean and how much they weighed compared to last time they came ashore. And then there's another 3 tracks further down the beach. So when I talk about the tracks, the fascinating thing about our little penguin is once it's born in a burrow, so the female lays 2 eggs, the male and the female take in turns of incubating those eggs. 35 days, those 2 eggs hatch, and within 8 to 9 weeks, that penguin is fully grown with waterproof feathers, with both the parents feeding the little chicks fish. So very good for us fish folks. So at about 8 or 9 weeks old, that penguin is fully grown, sometimes even bigger than their parents, and before the sun rises one morning, he takes his first journey down to the ocean, and that's its track for life. So as I'm talking about tracks, it's like we live in streets and we know our streets. So our penguins live in tracks here on the beach. So every penguin that crosses the beach tonight is an adult penguin, and he's going to return to approximately 40 metres of where he was born, without a GPS and without Google Maps. So how clever are they? So they're out in the water at the moment and they're grouping together. They're waiting for it to be dark enough, and it's getting dark very quickly, so they will be coming ashore very quickly. And they do wait for it to be dark enough because their major predator on land are the birds of prey. The sea eagles, swamp harriers, wedge-tailed eagles, all those birds hunt with their eyes, and our little penguins, they're very clever. They know that, so they wait until they know that those birds are roosting in the trees. Having said that, crossing the beach is the scariest part of the penguin's day. Out in the water, they're very camouflaged with their blue feathers, but once they leave the water, they're across the sand, and it is very scary for them. So sometimes you may see them leave the water and they will scurry back into the water. So if we could leave the stand in between when the penguins are crossing, that would be fantastic. So as I explained before, but I know that you weren't all here before, at the moment we're doing a trial on non-flash photography. So you are very welcome to take photos, but you must make sure that that flash on your cameras is off. Also, I would like to point out that this is a purely seated stand, so you must remain seated, because I know once the penguins come it's very exciting, but if you do stand up, you ruin someone's night because there's someone behind you. So if we could all stay seated, and if you do want to stand, up the back is the place to stand. So if you do want to get that photo, please be aware, respect the people around you. So that's about the photos. My biggest tip tonight is not to spend the whole night here. Watching them come ashore is just part of the experience. Save some time for the boardwalk, because that's when you're going to be up really close and personal with our little penguins. They're coming ashore this time of year to socialise. In about 6 to 8 weeks, they will be coming ashore for the breeding season. But at the moment, it's winter, and they stay out in feeding the fish longer. So some penguins may have stayed on land last night, but the ones that are coming ashore to see their friends and to socialise. So when you're on the boardwalk, you're going to see them very excited to see each other, because out in the water they're solitary birds. It's all about diving for fish. So they're not like a school of fish out there, they're very solitary. So coming ashore is about being excited about seeing each other. Also, there is another little marsupial I want to tell you about, that together with Zoos Victoria, we have started breeding the eastern barred bandicoots, which are critically endangered in the wild. So we have successfully started breeding them on Churchill Island and also here at Summerlands. So as you're on the boardwalk tonight, have a look out for those little bandicoots. They're about so long, have a kind of like snouty nose, and then they've got bars across, brown bars. So that's the eastern barred bandicoot. Also, it is a very unique place here, folks. You've driven here in the light, but you're going to be leaving in the dark. So I'm sure when you have been driving around the island, you have seen the Cape Barren geese, the swamp wallabies. We're a wildlife island, so as you go out tonight, please be aware that none of this wildlife are good at crossing the road. So as you drive out, please be aware that there will be even penguins crossing the road. And I'm thinking that there's probably penguins pretty close at shore now. So have a fantastic night. As I said, my name's Heather if you have any questions. And don't forget, my biggest tip, spend around about 20 minutes, 25 minutes here, then go to the boardwalks, because then you're going to be up really close. Have a fantastic night. Thank you very much.
It's almost time for the penguins to make their way home. Prior to reaching the shore, little penguins assemble in offshore groups known as rafts. They patiently wait until dusk before traversing the beach to conceal themselves from predators such as Pacific gulls and sea eagles. And here they come. A sea of tiny waddlers emerging from the waves. In groups, they waddle across the shore, following well-known tracks back to their burrows. Although they dedicate the majority of their day to feeding out at sea, the little penguin returns to coastal habitats for rest at night. This nightly ritual not only ensures their safety from predators, but also provides us with a heartwarming spectacle. The penguin parade is a crucial aspect of their survival. It helps them avoid predators, navigate tricky terrains, and maintain social connections within their colonies. It's a beautiful dance of survival and community. The upper body and flippers of the little penguin showcase a blue or blue-gray color, contrasting with the white underbelly. This distinctive coloring functions as camouflage while the penguin is in the water, as predators can only discern white from below and blue from above. Juveniles, on the other hand, usually exhibit a brown coloration. Their preferred nesting colonies are situated in sand dune vegetation, but they can also be found among rocks and caves. Remarkably, the little penguin is capable of sleeping on the water surface during its time at sea. The little penguin is exclusive to Australia and New Zealand, specifically along the southern edge of Australia and Tasmania. The majority of colonies are situated on islands, with examples including Kangaroo Island and Phillip Island. The success of breeding is predominantly influenced by the availability of food, and during challenging seasons, only a few chicks may survive. Penguins have sensitive eyes, and a sudden, bright flash or unusual light can cause them distress or disorientation. The female selects her preferred burrow, and the male associated with that burrow becomes her mate for the year. Little penguins maintain only one mate at any given time, although this doesn't imply a lifelong partnership. They establish enduring monogamous pair bonds, with a separation rate of approximately 18%. The little penguin produces various sounds tailored to different situations. A short sharp bark is employed when at sea, while a range of throbbing growls and horsewhoops is utilized during mate attraction. When disturbed, it emits a sharp, snorting yelp. Little penguins produce an oily liquid from their tails, which they spread over their feathers. This process is essential for waterproofing, enabling them to maintain a stable body temperature while hunting for fish at sea. What an unforgettable experience! I hope you enjoyed this journey with the little penguins of Phillip Island. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, share it with fellow nature lovers, and comment down below with your favorite penguin moment. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting adventure. See you in the next video. Until next time, embrace your adventurous spirit and keep exploring the wonders of our amazing Australia.